What's good, people of the cardboard? Welcome back to Fun Decks, and today we have 8 new Archfiend cards for Burst Protocol. I don't think anyone saw this coming. So far, we've only had the Rocket cards that were revealed for Burst Protocol, and now apparently Archfiend. So let's get into it. All right, so starting with Royal Archfiend, it's a level 7 Fire Fiend. Okay, you can only use the first and second of this card's name once per turn. 24 1000 Monarch stats too. Wow, that's surprising too. You can tribute this card from your hand or field, add one Archfiend card from your deck to hand, except Royal Archfiend. Also, for the rest of the turn, you can then special summon from the extra deck, except Archfiend monsters. Also, you can normal summon one Fiend monster in addition to your normal summon set. Ooh, you can only gain this effect once per turn. And then when your ritual monster is destroyed by battle, well, this is cards in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. Okay, well, this second part's super weird, but I mean, just being an Archfiend, basically a Rhoda, is pretty cool. I think this also, I definitely would have to look through and see what Archfiend cards work, but this is honestly giving me low-key Monarch vibes, giving me additional Monarch summon. I know a lot of the Monarch monsters are Fiends, so this actually is pretty cool. I'm not sure what other synergies work for that deck, but let's keep reading. Next we have Duke Archfiend, level 4 Water Fiend, 0 defense, 2000 attack, or 2000, 0 attack, 2000 defense, level 4. All right. So you can only use the second and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. Gains attack each to its level times 200. All right. So 800 right off the bat. Not really anything to write home about. 2, you can target one face-up monster you control. Send one archery monster from your deck to the graveyard, except a Archfiend. If you do, increases its level by Ascent monsters. Interesting. So the obvious target is that level 3 Archfiend. I'm trying to remember. When it's sent, you can add an Archfiend card from deck to your hand. So this is basically an indirect, Stratos, which is pretty cool. And even, I mean, unless you gain a lot of attack or a lot of levels, it's not really doing anything. It doesn't have a max level, which is kind of odd too. And then 3, when your ritual monster is destroyed by battle, well, this is going to graveyard, you can special summon. Okay, so same effects as the last one. Still seems kind of random. I don't know what ritual they're going for exactly. That's weird. All right. Keep on reading. Highness Archfiend, level 3 Light Fiend. Ooh, okay. 1000 attack, 800 defense. If this card is normal summoned, you can banish one Archfiend card from your graveyard, add 2 Archfiend cards from your deck to hand, except Highness Archfiend. Also, you cannot special from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except Archfiend monsters. Okay. So, I mean, this is obviously balanced. And then it has a second effect everyone has, which is that if a rune's monster is destroyed by battle, you can special summon it. Okay. Obviously, that's cool. I think the first effect is very powerful. Locking the Archfiend is very strict, especially because they tease you with it being a light fiend. So you don't get any of those Fiendsmith plays going on. But overall, it's pretty cool. I'm really curious what ritual monster. It's not coming to my mind. I'm sure there's some that's just I'm being a doofus and not remembering. But yeah, I mean, I think this is very powerful. I'm curious what Archfiend cards you're actually trying to search, because the old cards don't really have anything going for them. I definitely wanted to deep dive. All right, well, let's go on the last main deck monster. Okay. Wow, this might be what you're trying to summon. All right. Doom Emperor Archfiend, scale 0/0, level 7, Fire Fiend, Ritual Pendulum Effect. Oh, you gotta love to see that many dashes. So the Pendulum Effect, you can only use Pendulum Effect to this card's name once per turn. You can target one other face-up spell trap on the field, destroy it, and this card. All right, interesting. Monster Effect, you can ritual summon this card with Throne of Archfiends. I assume that's a new card. Must be ritual summoned. You can only use the first and third monster effect of this card's name. Each once per turn. I love how it says third monster effects of this card's name. That's so odd. Okay, 1. If this is ritual summoned from the extra deck, you can banish all monsters on the field except those in the extra monster zone. Ooh, that's pretty good. But so far it seems like a going second option, unless they make a ritual that can summon their opponent's turn. 2, unaffected by all other monster effects while in the extra monster zone. Okay, I see. And then 3, this card is in the extra monster zone. You can special summon one Fiend from your hand, deck, graveyard, or banishment. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this makes a lot more sense. I was trying to figure out how this would work with all the existing Archfiend cards. So basically the goal is you put this in the extra deck, and then I'm sure the ritual spell card can summon it from the extra deck, to the EMZ. And then it banishes everything. It can't be affected. It's kind of like a towers that, oh, if it gets run over by battle, you can just summon all your weak guys back. Actually, I like this. I like this as a tower, is that even if you out it by battle, I'm sure the ritual spell will just tutor it out. Okay, all right. So Konami hasn't given up on pendulums fully. They just have to be ritual monsters, and then they'll give them some support. Okay. This is cool, and there is no lock at all for this. So that's interesting because you see locks on like the Light Fiend and then the level 7 or reinforcements monster effect. That's odd. Oh, and the attack is 2500, 1200. That's fine. It's pretty weak, and it's interesting that there's not really any method of attack gain. All right. So now this does put a little more context. So basically, the goal of this card is you can actually send. I think it's Archfiend Eccentric, or maybe no, that's the pendulum. I'm trying to remember. But anyway, you can send the little level 3 Archfiend to search, and then this card becomes the summon itself. All right. So this is a 1-card Tsar. The first one's a 1-card Tsar, but this one's nice because it doesn't actually lock you into anything. Okay. And then this one, all right. Let's go into the spell traps. Okay, you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. 1. Ritual summon 1 Archfiend ritual monster from your hand, face of extra deck, graveyard, or banishment by tribute monsters from your hand and or field whose total levels equal or exceed that monster's level. Wow, okay. I don't know if I've ever had a ritual spell that can summon from all these locations. I mean, extra deck's weird enough, but I do like that it gets you graveyard and banishment too. So this is pretty much anywhere. So I wonder if you'd actually play more than one copy or just one's enough. I mean, the only thing that could really get rid of is banishing face down. Anyway, 2, during the Samba phase, if Doom Member Archfiend is face up in your X deck, you can add this card from graveyard or banishment to your hand. All right, wow. So this is just powerful. So basically you get the Doom Emperor Archfiend, and it's kind of your boss monster. Just going back. But I guess the question is, what does this actually do? Like, it's cool that like when it does summon, it board wipes, but it doesn't actually do any interruption. You know, it's cool. It comes back again to board wipe, but I just feel like you need to interact with your opponent. I'm sure that, you know, it does seem like this is very hard to out because both the monster and the ritual spell can add, like, are easily accessible all the time. But if it kind of feels like you just go SP to banish this from field. Oh, I guess if it's the EMZ, it's not effective. Interesting. All right, let's keep reading some of the other spells. Ooh, Archfiend strategy game. I think Archfiends already have like 2 field spells. All right, so this is the third. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. Fiend monsters in the EMZ gain 1,000 attack. All right, that's great. Oh, this is, I just noticed this. So your big towers monster is only unaffected by monster effects. So spell effects like a Regeki just kills this. Okay, great. And then 2, you can activate one of these effects, banish 1 fiend monster or Archfiend card from your hand or graveyard, add 1 Archfiend card from your deck or hand, except a field spell. That's weird. I don't know what Archfiends aren't actually fiends. But okay. But it is cool that it's a searcher and it's a little more work. Than just like on summon. And then the other option is add 1 Archfiend pendulum from your deck to your extract face up. Okay. So this is pretty cool. I'm liking this so far. I mean, you know, the more I think about it, I think it is still lacking 1-card starters. Outside of obviously the Light Fiend here can kind of give you 2 Archfiends. Maybe that can get you popping off. I guess the idea is you would use the level 7 Monarch stat one, discard, search this, summon this, banish that from graveyard, and then you can search 2 Archfiend cards. So you can search the ritual and the ritual spell. Okay. All right, let's keep going. I think there's a couple more traps. See how that rounds out the deck. Ooh, Archfiend's Jest. Okay, you can only activate 1 card with this card's name once per turn. Special on 1/7 or lower Archfiend monster from your hand or deck. Or if you have a face-up ritual monster in your extra deck, you can special summon 1 Royal Archfiend, 1 Duke of Archfiend, and or Highness Archfiend from your hand and or deck instead. That's pretty cool. All right. That is nifty. I just want to go through and make sure these are the 3 new ones. Royal. Okay. So you can summon these instead. But if you... Okay. I do wonder what this achieves. Because, like, this is... Yeah, none of these monsters really do anything on summon, a special summon. So I'm actually confused what this entire trap is trying to do, right? Unless you want to hit some of the original Archfiend cards. Like, yeah, summoning all 3 is kind of pointless, right? Like, it's cool to have the fodder, but it just doesn't do anything, And I'm already hesitant about any type of, e-tele from deck unless you have an obvious on someone like Pop or something. So this card feels honestly like the weakest one so far. Okay, Archfiend's Vigor. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If you control an Archfiend ritual monster in your extra monster zone, target one phase acquired your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of the turn. All right. Kind of gain an imperm negation effect. Not bad. And this can negate spells and traps. So this means you don't have to worry about your ritual monster being, or not being immune to spells or traps, because this can protect you, assuming you can get this. And then 2, if the card is banished from the hand or field, you can add 1 Archfiend card from your deck to the hand, except Archfiend. All right, I see now. So the field spell, it says banish an Archfiend card, so now this can banish your spell trap as well. All right, that's why I was specifying. So you can basically banish this to get a double search, which is pretty nice if you get the trap. I don't... Okay. And I think that's it. So honestly, I'm surprised we got 8 Archfiend cards. I think all 7 are interesting. I'm of course excluding this one because this one it makes no sense. If this could special summon out the ritual monster during your opponent's turn, this would be really great because then that represents a board wipe. It's really frustrating me that this doesn't. It wouldn't feel that broken. I just don't think you'd waste a search on this, especially just being a normal trap, right? I mean, yeah, sure, there's some synergy, I think, with Labyrinth. I mean, they're fiends, and there might be an Archfiend overlap there too. But I just feel like this card is the weakest one. It really just doesn't do anything. And yeah, this says that you can't even get the summon if you have your ritual monster in the EMZ. It's only if it's in the extra deck. So if everything goes to crap, you can summon this, or you can use this to summon the 3. But that's it, and none of them have on special summon effects. This card is promising. I think this would definitely see play. And it does seem like the deck has a good amount of searching. You have, let's go over it, the field spell, which is great. It can search. And it can search any Archfiend card if you're willing to banish, or just the ritual for free. This is an indirect search because you can send the level 3. This searches, which is really nice. Your level some just by discard or tributing to search. And then obviously this can search on banishment with a little bit of a lock. But so I like this deck. I like that they're going towers. I think it's nice to see a towers deck that isn't quite like Lunalight, where it's just a big monster. It's a blanket unaffected, and it's so ridiculously strong attack point wise that oftentimes decks just don't have an out and pray they can stop it. But having something that's, it does have good applications. It is reasonably strong. And you do have to worry about if you run this over in battle, it will come back during the following turn, and you basically get all of your mini Archfiends to the field. And so outing this by battle, even if that's the most successful, it doesn't mean you can kill, and then this can come back and wipe your opponent's board. So I like this. I like this as a tower monster where it's not just as obvious of, okay, out it, you win the game, or, you can't out it and I win the game. It's a little bit more nuanced where you have to decide if you actually want to try the out this one go. I'd say what's interesting though is that this deck, I mean, yeah, on ritual summon this is nice, but it kind of feels like going first, you would just want to summon this even though it wouldn't get any pop, and there is no method of triggering this during your opponent's turn really. Yeah, so I think if this does get follow-up wave, Konami tends to do that with the next set. I would love to see if they give it some quick effect method of ritual summoning this from the extra deck to the EMZ during your opponent's turn, just so it can be a board wipe. It's unaffected. I think that isn't too strong. I think that's actually very reasonable. Yeah, but let me know if I'm missing something. Let me know if you think that there's some other ritual monster to be played, or if there's something else that would really make this deck special, or something else it can be combined with. But overall, I'd say this deck is pretty interesting. I think it's definitely could have some like casual play. I think it's just missing enough interaction with your opponent to really push it over the edge. But hey, let me know if I'm wrong in the comments down below. And with that, it's Fun Decks signing out. Bye.